ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa iba't ibang embahada ng Pilipinas upang maghatid ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa mga kalagayan ng ating mga kapwa Pinoy na naninirahan at nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko. Para sa isang makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa overseas Filipino workers. Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko. Kasama si Ray Sampang dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Isang mapagpalang pagbati po ngayong araw na ito mula po dito sa Pilipinas. Ito ang programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Hatid po sa inyo ng inyong himpilang Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kami po isa sa mga himpilan ng Presidential Broadcast Service na nasa ilalim ng patnugot ng Presidential Communications Office. Ako po inyong lingkod, Ray Sampang. Kasama pa rin ang buong puwersa ng Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo. Of course, sa ating Master Control, si Ms. Susan Aizon, sa ating Wildcast, si Justin, and of course sa ating live audio streaming, si Hero. At ang ating executive producer, of course, si Ms. Stephanie Vicente. Kasama pa rin natin, of course, si Mr. Milo Jonela sa engineering side. Kami po ay inyo na susubaybayan at napapakinggan live sa pamamagitan nating Facebook Broadcast Live. Sa inyo pong Facebook browser, type lamang Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Gayon din po sa ating Radyo Pilipinas YouTube channel. I-type nyo lamang po sa inyong YouTube browser, Radyo Pilipinas World Service, at sa ating live audio streaming. Ano po, sa ating pong PBS Radio app. I-download nyo po ang ating PBS Radio app sa inyong pong mga smartphones at sa inyong mga iPhones. Kung kayo po may iPhone, punta lamang po kayo sa Google Play. At kung kayo naman ay may iPhone, punta lang po kayo sa App Store. At sa mga browser, i-type nyo lamang eBox PBS Receiver. E as in Echo, V as in Valentine, O as in October, X as in Xerox. At kapag na-download nyo na po yan, makikita nyo na po sa pamamagitan ng tile icon ang mga himpilan sa ilalim ng Presidential Broadcast Service. Isa na po doon ang ating himpilang Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Ano po? And of course, siyempre, tayo po ay nagsisimulang mag-broadcast alas 7 ng umaga Monday to Sunday. Alas 7 ng umaga Monday to Sunday. At nagsa-sign off po tayo the next day na. Alas 3 hanggang alas 4 ng umaga. Ganun po kahaba ang ating broadcast schedule upang lalo po namin kayong marating. Lalong-lalo na ang ating mga overseas Filipino workers, ang ating mga kapwa Filipino living and working abroad, maging dito sa loob ng bansa. Anytime, ano po, umaga man, tanghali, gabi, hapon, para po malaman ninyo mga kaganapan dito sa inyong mahal na inang bayan. Yan. At of course, para sa edisyon natin ngayon ng Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko, napakalapit po ng pupuntahan natin. Talagang sobrang lapit. Ano po? Talagang napakalapit. Yan. Sapagkat tayo po ay pupunta sa bansang Norway. Yan. At makakasama natin ang ating Philippine Embassy sa Oslo, Norway, sa pangunguna po ng ating ambassador, ang ating Philippine Ambassador to Norway, His Excellency Enrico T. Foss. At mamaya makakasama rin natin ang Filipino community natin sa Norway, sa pangunguna naman yan ni Dr. Resurrection Esmenia Kobsbek. Yan, I hope I pronounced it right. Mamaya matatanong natin si Doktora. Anyway, nasa linya na ng komunikasyon natin ang ating pong butihing ambassador to Norway, His Excellency Enrico T. Foss. Magandang hapon po mula dito sa Pilipinas, Your Excellency, at welcome sa program na Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko.
Magandang hapon po at magandang umaga po dito mula sa Oslo po.
Thank you very much po, Your Excellency, for indulging us dito sa ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Alright. First of all, siguro po, ang unang katanungan lang po namin, Your Excellency, how would you describe the relationship between the Philippine Embassy and the host country, which in this case, Norway po?
Napakaganda. Siguro yun yung pinaka buod ng description po natin ng relasyon po natin sa Norway at mga Pilipinas. Alam niyo po, marami pong shared values ang Pilipinas at saka yung Norway. Halimbawa po, both countries believe in democracy, and elections, and democratic ideals, human rights, accountability. Lahat po, halos dugtong-dugtong po yung mga prinsipyo at values po natin ng Norway at Pilipinas. Isa yun sa mga tungtungan po ng ating relasyon sa kanila. Yung isa pa ho na pinakamalaking tungtungan din po or ng ating relasyon po sa kanila ay yung malapit po nating people-to-people relationship. Lalo na po sa maritime o sa maritime. Ito po yung halimbawa dito po sa Norway, halos po 1/3 ng tripulante or crew and the officers of the Norwegian owned and controlled ship
Okay, sige. Medyo nagkakaroon lang tayo ng konting glitch dito sa... Okay. Ambassador?
Sige po.
Okay. Sige.
Okay na po. Okay na.
Okay po.
Sige.
Go ahead po, Ambassador.
Yung sinasabi ko po, yung isa sa also na pinakatungtungan po ng ating relasyon ay yung people-to-people relationship po natin sa kanila. Halimbawa ni po sa maritime sector, napakalaki po ng ambag po natin dito sa maritime sector. We are about 1/3 of the total crew and officers of Norwegian owned and controlled ships. Ang latest na data natin po dyan na ibinahagi po sa akin ng Norwegian Ship Owners Association, mayroon po tinatawag kasing Norwegian Registry of Ships. Ang sabi po nila, 90% po ng mga ships na to ay crewed by foreigners or migrants. At alam niyo ba kung gaano kataki yung sa 90% yung Pilipinos? 60% of the 90% are Filipinos. Ganun po kadami po tayo. The latest estimate that they have, we have about 25,000 seafarers, Filipino seafarers, at any one time flying the Norwegian owned and controlled ships. Hindi lang po sa domestic po, pati international shipping. So, yun po, balikan ko po, yung dalawang bahagi po ng ating, parang tungtungan po ng ating relasyon, napakatibay po dahil unang-una po sa shared values talaga po natin.
Yun.
And then secondly, dun sa people-to-people relationship natin. By the way pala po, may babanggitin lang ako. Alam niyo po yung principle natin ng bayanihan, di ba? Ay yung pagtutulungan po ng komunidad. Mayroon ho yung equivalent ho yan dito sa Norway. Ang tawag nila po, dugnad. Ganon din po. Essentially the same principle. So, kaya po, madali po para sa mga Pilipino na tumulong sa community. Regardless po kung Filipino community o community ng kabuuan po. Kaya napakaganda po niyan dahil nakakatulong din po doon sa integration po at inclusion ng Pilipinos po dito sa Norway.
Okay. Pero how long have we
in a nutshell, yun po. In a nutshell, maganda ang relasyon po natin ng Pilipinas at saka Norway.
Alright. Pero how long have we maintained this relationship with Norway, Ambassador?
2 years ago, we celebrated 75 years of
75?
Formal diplomatic relations. Norway is one of the first countries in Europe that we had formal diplomatic relations starting in, I think, in 1948. So 75 years siya, 2 years ago. So we're going 77. So mahaba-haba na rin po.
Yes.
Mahaba-haba. Pero I must share to you when I was presenting my credentials to the king. That was 3 years ago. He told me that one of the longest relationships that Norway have is with the Philippines. He told me also, and he relayed that at the turn of the century, even before the First World War, Second World War, may mga Norwegian seafarers na po na nagpupunta sa Pilipinas.
Okay.
Hindi niya lang nasabi kung anong mga barko pinasakyan. Pero sabi niya, may mga Norwegians na po na nakipaglayag po sa Pilipinas. So, ganun na kaaga pa ho ang ating relasyon sa kanila.
Oh, wow.
For formally, 77 years.
Alright. Pero can I ask this question, Your Excellency? Nag-iisa lang ba ang ating Philippine Embassy sa Norway? Wala na tayong, sabi natin, Philippine Consulate? O...
Wala. Yes pa. Isa lang po yung natin dito, representasyon po natin. In fact, yung embassy po natin sa Oslo, which is the capital of Norway, ay cover niya rin po yung Iceland. So, dalawang bansa po ang kino-cover po ng embassy po natin dito.
Wow, okay. So, now, besides our Filipino seafarers, like you said, napakarami pala nila, talaga. Pero mayroon pa rin tayong ibang mga overseas Filipino workers na nagtatrabaho sa Norway besides the shipping industry, seafaring industry, Ambassador?
Opo. Ganito po yung kalalabas lang po ng first quarter report po ng Norwegian Statistical Office. Parang PSA po natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Okay. Ang sabi po nila, ang permanent migrants po na Pilipino ay around 34,994. Almost 35,000. Yung temporary is about 9,675. More or less mga 45,000 ang hindi sea-based. So napakalaki. Total mo kung ilalagay mo po ang sea-based at saka yung land-based, almost around 60,000 Filipinos. Ang laki po ng increase po natin po dito sa number of Filipinos. In fact, we're one of the biggest migrant population relative, i-compare mo dun sa distance niya sa Pilipinas at saka Norway, napakalayo. Normally, ang madaming migrants ang galing dito sa Karapitog, di ba? So, I would not be surprised halimbawa nang sinabi sa akin ng Polish ambassador yung Poland katabi-katabi. Marami po sila dito, mahigit po sila 100,000. Pero to think na hindi malayo, 60,000 tayo almost, no? Sa dito po sa Norway. Napakaganda po, ibig sabihin, napakagandang lugar na dapat puntahan po ng mga Pilipino ang bansang Norway po.
Pero so being the Philippine being there sa yung ating Philippine Embassy sa Oslo, what are the services being offered or being served by the embassy sa ating pong mga Filipinos living and working sa Oslo, Ambassador?
Ano po yun? Unang-una po yung frontline service natin would always be consular services, passport, notarization, legalization. In fact, nagkakasal po kami dito ng mga Pilipino. So, at mayroon rin ng open din ho kami doon sa may mga kaso sa Pilipinas na nililitis na civil cases. Naging venue rin po siya ng mga hearings po on taking of testimonies of witness. So, yun po yung mga frontline services mo. Nag-accept din ho kami ng application for dual citizenship. Ang hindi po masyadong nakikita yung ating economic and political diplomacy po na ginagawa.
Alright.
For example po, kumakailan lang po nag-enter po tayo ng isang memorandum of agreement with the Norwegian Maritime Authority and Marina. Ito po yung agreement na to ay nagsasabi na ipapacilitate yung acceptance ng certificate of safety, etc. under the STCW convention.
Okay, all right.
Ang sinasabi po ng ano na to, despite and in spite of anything, yung magdudugtong po ang sistema po natin ng certification ng Marina at saka ng Norwegian Maritime Authority. Ang estimate po nila ng NMA ho dito ng Norwegian Maritime Authority, once fully implemented, we will be facilitating the entry of thousands of seafarers to Norwegian owned and controlled ship. And vice versa, no? Sabi ngo nila, ang estimate po nila talaga is around 25,000 in the next 3 to 5 years kung ma-implement po. So, may mga iba pa tayong ginagawa po na gano'n. Tapos, ang isa po, halimbawa, yung agreement na napasok yung online sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Yung OSAEC na sinasabi. Mayroon nung kasunduan po yung NBI at Norwegian Police po dito na para pagtutulungan, para sa pagsumpo ng OSAEC, online sexual exploitation and abuse of children. So, at minalakad pa po tayong iba pang mga agreement na para po maayos po natin yung ating both economy at saka ang security po natin. Yun po, medyo hindi lang po nakikita ng masyado.
Yes. Pero
yung, yes po.
Ano po yung mga common problems na encounter ng ating mga Filipinos living and working sa Norway, Ambassador?
Napakaganda kasi po ng working and living condition po ng mga kababayan po natin dito. Bihira po kami nakaka-encounter po ng problema.
Alright.
On the workers po. Mayroon pa ilan-ilan, like halimbawa may isa pong temporary worker, yung tawag namin sa ano tawag dito, seasonal worker, na aksidente po yung daliri, naputol. Okay, so ang employer at saka insurance, sinagot po yan. Pina-hospital ng ilang araw, tapos nang sinabi na dugtungan prosthetics, inayos po nila yung further stay po dito sa Norway para maayos, ma-continue yung treatment until may kabit yung prosthetics and fully functional na yung fingers na yun. So isa sa mga ganon na, or yung isa po na aksidente po sa barko, pina-airlift po, helicopter lift to the hospital until magkaayos. At tinulungan pa na makapunta po dito ng kamag-anak para magkaroon po ng compassionate visit. Ang trabaho po namin ay buko doon sa pag-alam po nito at pagsubaybay, kukulitin din po yung employer. Sometimes kasi, di ba, alam nyo naman, kumpanya din yan, tao din yan, na kailangan po pa-remind, ano ba, kailangan mo tapikin sa balikan. Ayos naman. So, importante po sa kanila, sometimes, siguro sa dami din ng kanilang inaatupag, pa-remind lang sila na mayroon kami diyang kapwa Pilipino na kailangan po ng tulong niya at obligasyon nyo kasi nasa kontrata.
Alright. So, kasi kaya ko po natanong yun, Ambassador, Your Excellency, sapagkat of course, alam naman natin ng ating mga kababayan din siguro, probably, itong assistance to nationals that is made available sa embassy natin, ano?
Totoo po yan.
Okay.
Totoo po yan. Marami-rami na rin po ang natulungan po natin dyan, ano? Kung hindi man po kasi ang embassy po napaka-proactive. If hindi sa pagbubuhat ng unang bangko, pero na proactive, kung hindi po sila makalapit po, kami na po lumalapit at open naman po yung lines of communication sa amin po sa kanila. In fact po, kami po, every time po na magkakaroon po kami ng outreach, kasama po yung ATN functions po namin sa outreach. Nagsisimula yun sa pakipag-usap po sa kanila, pagpapatawag po ng town hall meeting para malaman yung mga concerns nila, or even yung individual consultations on sometimes they could not do it on the phone or email. Alam niyo naman po yung ating mga kababayan, gusto yan one-on-one, personal. So, as much as possible, tinabigay po natin yan.
Yun. Pero before I let you go, Ambassador, matanong ko lamang po, nakarating na po ba ang serbisyo dyan ng gobyerno, yung tinatawag nilang serbisyo caravan na para sa ating mga overseas Filipino workers?
Hindi pa po. I think po ang pagkakaintindi ko po, inuuna po natin yung mga lugar na mas malaki talaga ang pangangailangan at mas maraming Pilipino. So, halimbawa, nababalitaan ko yan na napunta yan ng Middle East, napunta ng Saudi, na yun po yung group serbisyo caravan napunta po doon. Sa amin mo dito, hindi pa naman po nakapunta.
Yun. Alright. Well, with that, Ambassador, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation sa oras at ika nga po effort na makasama po namin kayo dito sa ating programa, although alam kong yung time difference is a challenge para sa inyo dyan sa Norway, pero maraming salamat po. Pero message po ninyo sa ating mga kababayan, kasi later on kakausapin ko naman yung Filipino community natin dyan, yung sa pangunguna ni Doktora Resurrection. Pero mensahe po muna ninyo, Ambassador, para sa ating mga kababayan sa Norway.
Sa inyo muna po. Papasalamat po kami doon sa opportunity na to na makapagpanayam po sa inyo at may balita po kung ano man yung ginagawa po nito. Sa atin pong mga kababayan po sa Norway, napabatid lang po namin na yung embahada niyo po ay palaging bukas 24/7. Kung hindi man maabutan yung pong bukas ang opisina, maaabutan niyo po na bukas yung telepono at email at saka iba pa naming social media platforms para maparating po ninyo yung mga concerns. At handa po kaming tumulong sa abot makakaya at sa abot ng aming kapasidad po. At lahat naman po ayan mga bagay-bagay ay kung mapag-usapan, magagawan po ng paraan at matulungan po kayo. At kaya po maraming po again, salamat po again po dito sa pagkakataon na ito. Thank you very much at magandang hapon po dyan sa Pilipinas.
Magandang hapon po mula dito sa Pilipinas at magandang umaga naman dyan po sa Norway. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, our Philippine Ambassador to Norway, His Excellency Enrico T. Foss. Samantala sa puntong ito, kakausapin naman natin, kakamustahin naman natin ang ating Filipino community sa Norway. Yan, of course, makakasama po natin si Doktora Resurrection Esmenia Cosbic. Magandang umaga po, Dr. Cosbic. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Doktora.
It's okay. Yeah, Cosbic is right. Thank you. Good morning too.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to have you, Doktora Resurrection.
Likewise.
Sa ating pong
Likewise.
programa. And I know alam ko po na nakamonitor ba kayo sa aming usapan with our Philippine Ambassador?
Yes.
Ambassador Foss.
Yeah, I was following up.
Yes. All right. Kamusta po ang kamusta ang relationship? How is the relationship within the Filipino community with the Philippine Embassy sa Norway?
Very good. I can say that it is very good. Our ambassador, he's very active. So I think he's the first ambassador to really reach out to all parts of the country and to different groups.
Really?
And then he is able to communicate well with them and work together and really listen to their concerns and do something about it. So we have a very good relationship.
Wow.
And I think it says for all the other communities.
So he really goes out of the embassy and goes to the
Yes.
Filipino communities, in different Filipino communities. And
Different Filipino communities, big and small.
wow.
Not just the big communities, but also small communities, and even on the very far parts of the country, which we who are living in Norway didn't hear about it before.
So, Dr. Cosbic, let me just ask, how many are there in your Filipino community?
Do you mean how many members? Or
Yes, how many members do you have?
organizations?
Yes.
Oh, it's very big. I don't really have the overview because the PhilCom, the Filipino community, it is a confederation, a federation of different organizations and it's been changing from 10 to 15. But we also work together with business associations to unify our costs. But you see here in Norway and in Oslo, there are also many other organizations that are not part of PhilCom. They have their own, like the Kalayaan, which the ambassador has been part of building up. So they also have different members there.
Okay.
So we really are very varied groups.
Yes. I forgot to ask Dr. Cosbic, how long have you been staying and working in Norway?
39 years.
39 years?
Yes.
Oh, so okay. So you started your family there now in Norway.
In Norway, but just to point out, I'm not one of the earlier migrants. I'm even I think I'm the third wave.
Okay.
Other Filipinos came here in the 70s.
Okay. All right.
The seafarers, and then the other ones that are married to Norwegians.
Okay. So, all right. So, are you satisfied with the services being given by the Philippine Embassy to our Filipino community,
Yes.
especially those who are really in need of assistance from the embassy?
Oh yes, I personally, because I'm a Norwegian citizen, I haven't needed any services from the embassy itself, but I have my friends and my family, and also just acquaintances who have given very positive feedbacks about the embassy and how much help they got and how very accommodating they are. And I have been together with the ambassador. We traveled to Svalbard. That's a very, you know where it is. It is in the northernmost part. They were there in an outreach program 3 weeks ago, and it's really there were many Filipinos, and they were so happy that for the first time they were visited by the embassy with the consular services.
All right. So, what are the usual or common concerns that our fellow Filipinos are encountering in Norway?
In Norway, it's usually about the visas, what they call that, the passport when they are Filipino citizens, and then also the about many consular services like their dual citizenship
Yes,
or
yes.
legal matters, which they consult the embassy, and if the case is difficult for if it involves the Norwegian government, the embassy is also very quick in referring them to the right authorities.
All right.
So they facilitate and they help and they work.
All right. Earlier in my discussion with Ambassador Foss, he mentioned one of the great things between Norway and the Philippine Embassy, including the Filipino community, is the people-to-people exchanges.
Yes.
What are the activities that the Philippine Embassy is doing in cooperation and consultation with the Filipino community to make sure that you have this smooth and solid communication with the embassy, and to never to forget your roots here in the Philippines?
Oh yeah, our ambassador and his very able embassy staff, they go to meetings, they join the meetings, or they call the meetings themselves to meet the different group leaders and discuss with them the different activities. For example, the Philippine Independence Day here in Norway, it is celebrated for many months
Oh,
because the
really?
ambassador and his staff, yes, because there are many places they go to celebrate together with the group. So it really starts already earlier in the June, and then it even extends until August, if I'm not wrong. Because on the weekends, that's where the local people, they gather, and they also in other places they involve the local government officers, and the local government officers are very supportive of this celebration.
All right.
So it's easy, and then from my personal experience with the ambassador, it's very easy he is very accommodating and very down level. So you could always talk with him, discuss the problem, and he also involves his staff to help with this.
That's nice. That's nice to hear. But do you have any plans of going back to the Philippines?
I'm always going home
Okay.
every year.
All right, that's good. That's good. So,
But you mean going back when I retire?
yes, when you retire,
Or
do you
just for
plan to
visit?
retire in the Philippines?
And to retire, I don't really know because I don't have many family there anymore. My family is in Norway.
Oh, okay.
So it would be something else if I have to go home. I
Yes.
stay there. It
Yes.
would be maybe not as good as it is when I
Yes.
don't have the family support.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, Dr. Resurrection, I would like to thank you. We are very appreciative of your participation in this program, and of course,
Thank you
we
too.
know the time difference. I know it's been I know it's very hard to conduct this interview because of the time difference, but still, you indulged us, so we're very, very appreciative. We're very, very thankful for this. So, any message for our Filipino community who is listening to us and watching us right now, Dr. Resurrection?
Yes, of course I can. To the Filipino community in Norway, let us continue to be a source of support and inspiration for each other. Let us continue to uphold our spirit of bayanihan so that together we can work to uplift our kababayans. And let us continue to be proud of our Filipino heritage and share with the world the beauty of our culture together with our embassy.
Do you
Thank
have
you.
any message for Ambassador Foss?
For Ambassador Foss, continue the good work you have. You are a source of inspiration to many, and also as a source, not just an inspiration, but also a great support to those who need your help. Continue the good work, and may God bless you always.
Thank you very much, Dr. Resurrection Esmenia Kopsbeck. So much. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Inyo po napakinggan ang ating Filipino community leader diyan po sa Norway, Dr. Resurrection Esmenia Kopsbeck. Mula po diyan all the way from Norway. And of course, ang ating pong Philippine Ambassador to Oslo, Norway, His Excellency Enrico T. T. Foss. Alam nyo, nakakatuwang marinig na contented ang ating mga kababayang Pilipino living and working abroad, especially itong mga ating mga kababayang Filipino living and working in Norway, na appreciative sila at kontento sila sa serbisyong binibigay ng ating Embahada ng Pilipinas. Tulad na narinig po ninyo kanina, sabi nga ni Dr. Cosbic, first time nila naka-encounter ng isang ambassador na lumalabas talaga ng embahada at nagpupunta sa mga iba't ibang mga komunidad, maliit man o malaking Filipino community. At very bukas ang embahada para tumulong sa ating Filipino community sa Norway. At ang dami pala marami tayong mga Filipino seafarers sa Norway. Okay? Sabi nga ni Ambassador Foss dun sa survey ng Norwegian government, kasi meron sila sariling, yung kanilang ating counterpart ng Philippine Statistics Authority, meron sila doon. 90% ng mga 90% ng mga seafarers ang doon sa industry, shipping industry ng Norway ay mga foreigners. Sa 90% na yon, 60% doon Filipino seafarer. Ang laki nun. Ang laki nun. Hindi pa kasama yung mga kababayan nating Filipino na nagtatrabaho sa Norway, land-based. Ibig sabihin, hindi sumasampa ng barko, pero pwedeng nurse, pwedeng nagtatrabaho sa opisina, pwedeng nagtatrabaho sa mga iba't ibang industriya. Katulad ni Dr. Resurrection. Sigurado nasa healthcare industry si Dr. Resurrection. So napakarami rin po natin dyan. Ano? Isa na namang lugar na balak puntahan ni Ate Susan, ang Norway, kasi hindi siya natuloy sa Netherlands. Umiwas siya sa ICC yata. so sa Norway na lang. Ayan. Nakalimutan kong tanongin kay Ambassador Foss kung anong dapat na gawin ni Ate Susan, ano mga dokumento ang dapat niyang isubmit para madali siyang makapag-tourist o migrate sa Norway. Ayan. Sige. Alright. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay sa isa pang edisyon na programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo. Totoo nga makakabangon tayo sa ating mga sitwasyon maski na tayo nasa ibang bansa kung tapat ang serbisyo publiko na binibigay ng gobyerno. At sa kasong ito, tapat na serbisyong binibigay ng ating embahada sa Oslo, Norway sa pangunguna ni Ambassador Enrico T. Foss. Sa ngalan po ng ating mga nakatuwang sa Master Control, si Miss Susan Aison and of course si Mr. Milo Jonela, sa ating Wirecast kasama natin si Justin, and of course sa live streaming kasama rin natin si Hero, and of course ang ating executive producer for today, at lagi naman nating executive producer for today, si Miss Stephanie Vicente Toledo. Stephanie Vicente. Ako naman po ang inyong lingkod, Ray Sampang. Maraming salamat at sa susunod na edisyon ng Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko.
Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Ugnayan ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa iba't ibang embahada ng Pilipinas upang maghatid ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa mga kalagayan ng ating mga kapwa Pinoy na naninirahan at nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko para sa isang makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa overseas Filipino workers. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko kasama si Ray Sampang dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.